Master up the day of judgment. I got the power. Allahu Akbar. I got the power. Black power. Love supreme. Love supreme. Power, power supreme. Love supreme. Love supreme. Love supreme. Love supreme. Unity is the key. First to create the universe. First to be first. First to give birth. First on the earth. First to make it work. First to give it worth. First to write a verse. First to do research. First to rehearse. First things first.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings. A lot of you don't know what day it is for the Nation of Islam. It's the founder's day of birth, Master Farad Muhammad. Always celebrated on February the 26th. The day is February the 26th. The name of this transmission is Jesus Justice, crushing Israel and Sam. Jesus Justice, anointed to crush Sam, Uncle Sam in Israel, and to crystallize the lost found Nation of Islam, meaning the whole entirety, no matter where Black people are located. Starting with the tribe of Shabazz first, which is behind enemy lines in the wilderness of North America on this day of judgment. And we got the flavor to save it if you want to be saved. We don't have to do nothing but embrace righteousness, and have divine order within ourselves and within the Black community. Because we're out of order right now, following the agenda of our enemies. We haven't got out of that slave mentality to free our minds, so our ass will follow. We still trapped in the grip, the vice grip of the slave master's system or world. So today we're going to prove to you, turn this off for a minute. Today we're going to prove to you that the United States of America is on its way out. And she wants to take our people with her. So there are those in the Black community here in America and abroad, over in Africa, who follow the dictates of the Caucasoid, the Caucasian. And we're going to give to you several videos. Now, I hope you got a couple of hours, because it's going to take a couple of hours for you to be saved. It's going to take more than that, but more hours than that, but we're going to keep on pushing with ways and means to try to make you understand that you are already saved. And always remember this: you can lead a mule to water, but you can't make them drink. What do I mean by that? Mule meaning the hard-headed Black man and woman that's thirsty for wisdom and knowledge and so-called spiritual guidance. But they're getting it from the wrong sources. They're getting it from the Caucasian. And they refuse to drink from the well of Master Farad Muhammad in this day and time. Some people say that we hard-headed. We hard-headed, but we are so frightened to go against the slave master. I mean, we're just scared. We're so scared we can't see light. So I'm going to try to at least break you from being scared. I haven't been on air for a minute, I'm going to tell you why I call this transmission Jesus Justice. Jesus, according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, means justice. And he's executing his justice on the planet right now. And he's killing up people right now. So if you don't want to be one of those that refuse to drink of the water of justice, then you should blow your brains out. Just go ahead on and kill yourself. But if you are of those that want to win the war of Armageddon, Third World War, then it is crucial that you listen to what I have to offer you. Now, this is your brother Blacklight trying to do right, trying to get it right, because the truth should be told and not sold. Got the kind of flavor that will save you and the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. And it's Savior's Day, and Master Farad Muhammad ordained the FOI. See, I was born into the FOI back in 1946. He ordained us to be little saviors under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we're going to start off. We're going to go into some scriptures, King James Version. We're going to start off with St. Matthew's 22, verse 15. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians saying, Master, we know that thou art true and teach us the way of God in truth. I'm going to take my time, I don't want to mess up at all. So I'm going to take my time. I hope you got a little time, and I hope you be patient with me. We know that thou art true and teachest the way of God. They're talking about Jesus in St. Matthew's. aka Isa ben Yusuf. The truth, neither careth thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us, therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Now that word tribute is equivalent to taxes nowadays. We're going to tell you the meaning of the word. We're going to define the meaning of the word tribute after I read a little bit more of this. But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money, said Jesus. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, whose is this image and subscription? They said unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. We're going to read a little further. St. Matthew 22, verse 37, Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy hearts and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. Now, that right there explains that if you love the creator, the originator of the universe, the creator of us all, you shouldn't be giving no one tribute but him, the creator, the originator, Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad in the wilderness of North America, came to Detroit in 1930, July the 4th, to raise up lost foundation of Islam, the tribe of Shabazz, and to break him out of that deaf, dumb, and blind cycle that he's in. And in the year 2024, all hell has broken loose. And we caught up in it. And so all have forgot about Master Farah Muhammad and his messenger. And they all have lost the taught ways or the learned ways of God that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad displayed and taught us. We abandon the ways of God. And so we're going to define the word tribute. The word tribute is a noun, Latin, tribute, a lot, money paid regularly by one nation to another as acknowledgement of subjugation. So I'm gonna get cut to the chase and say, when we pay taxes, when the black nation pays taxes to the white nation, that means we're under subjugation. Sub means up under. See, we don't take time to, I looked all of this up in the dictionary. See, we living in the Tower of Babel. Babel has to do with speech or words. The English language has many different jargons in the vocabulary. And Old English is a babbling language. So when they define a word in the dictionary, it has 5 or 6, 3 or 2 or more, a lot of times 2 or more definitions. So we're going to go to another definition. Subjugation for protection is another definition. So that's a gangster word right there, or a gangster move. You pay tribute to the gangsters when they want a piece of your money, piece of your business. Say you own a store, a grocery store, and the mafia come to your store and tell you that you got to pay insurance to them if you don't want nothing to happen to your store. And so you say, I refuse. So they started beating up on you. Or terrorizing your wife or children. And they say if you go to the police, something will happen to your wife and children. So you still don't believe them. So they might just start jacking you up right in the store. Close the doors, lock the doors, and take you in the back room. Beat you up a little bit, smack you around a little bit. Or break up some of your stock. Then they say, we're gonna come around again tomorrow and we want a third or a fourth or half of your money that you earn. You pay protection, and we'll make sure that this won't happen again. And if they fighting you, you'll pay it. Well, that's what the United States done to the black man when they went over and got him over in Africa back in 1555. They ran game on him, they tricked him. And once they got him on that boat, see, they appealed to his weakness. They know that every black people every people, period, got a weakness or got a price they'll sell their souls for, or got a vice. Some of them might have a lust for gold, but most people want something for nothing. And so when they came over to Africa, it was all planned to run a con game on us, trick us on the boat. Once they got us on the boat, they tortured us on the boat. My uncle, who was a FOI with Malcolm, told me that they used to pour hot iron down our throats on the boat, conditioning us on the boat. Then when they got us over here and they went to around Jamaica and all around there, they conditioned us some more. They had little farms, you know, and they separated us from each other. And they ran that conditioning on us, and they still doing it now for 400 years. And so it's hard to get us to drink the water. You know, we don't want, you can lead a mule to water, but you can't make them drink. We scared to drink. We scared to be woke up. That's a fact. Because right now, they openly are killing and murdering people right in front of your eyes. And you want to be distracted. So on YouTube, they don't tell you the real deal, you know, what's really going on. But it's happening right before your very eyes. They up front with it. And you can't see it. So when you tune into Black Light, Soul School, we're going to take you on a journey of truth, trying to get you out of that scaredness, because you are a direct descendant from the originator, the creator of the heavens and the earth. It's hard for you to believe it because of your conditioning. And the sister that wrote The Matrix, when they told Neo that he was the one, they're talking about you, black man. Don't be scared. And that's one thing they do, is make you fearless in the FOI in the early days. The brothers was fearless. And then when they started, the police started killing up a couple of brothers, a couple of fruit, when they killed Malcolm and the real deal came out in the brothers. Most of them, it was only a very few brothers that were fearless. Most of them were scared to death. That's why they all went with Wallace. They were scared to go against Wallace. They knew better, all of them. They were scared to death. So another meaning for tribute is respect, honor, or praise. Now we're going to define subjection or subject. It's Latin. Sub meaning under. Sub meaning under. Jective meaning throw. So when they say got thrown under the bus or something, you are in subjection, under the authority or control of another. That's what subjection means. So we got that word when we was defining tribute. So, you know, we call Caucasian a devil and Satan. That's spiritual language. But language on the street, we would call him a straight up gangster. Gangsterism is in the Caucasian's nature. It was put there by Yakub. So a gangster is a lawless person, an outlaw, who don't follow the laws of Allah, for number one, and he won't follow the laws of society. Now the gangster have made himself in control, put you, the black people, and a whole lot of more black, brown, and red and yellow people under subjugation. You know, we are under subjugation. We are under his control. And we're paying taxes, all kind of taxes. Now the black man ain't got no business over here in America paying the white man anything. If anything, he's supposed to be paying us. And we definitely not supposed to be paying no taxes. Now how you think he got trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars to play with? Because you're paying taxes. You get paid labor wages, and everything you get or everything you buy goes right back to him. everything you buy. And you're always in debt. So he got you in a time frame of debt, of when to pay your bills. He got you in a rhythm of debt. You don't think you're in debt because you can buy his clothes, but that money goes right back to him. So you think the United States is made up of small businesses. Yeah, but all the small businesses pay the one who prints the money. So he owns all the small businesses because they got to pay taxes too. And they got to pay a percentage on the dollar because they got to pay tribute or else they can't run. So he goes all over, talking about Caucasian, he goes all over the planet doing this. That's how he conquered. First he conquers you, you know, and then he makes you pay tribute to him. So they all over in Africa. Africa are paying for his protection because he got advanced technology on his weapons, superior to all others who don't make weapons or don't know how to make weapons of that multitude and that quality. So he got that bomb, the atom bomb, that he's threatening to drop. So he got you on both sides. He got the Russians threatening the war with America. So you run to the Russians, you know, for protection. And the Russians are gangsters too. The black man is the only one that his nature is not that of a gangster, of an outlaw. But you lost all the fight. You lost all your fire. Now you'll fight each other. If a brother step on your shoe, or if a brother flirts with your woman, you'll kill him. You'll kill your woman. You'll kill your children. But you won't do nothing to the one that's got you subjugated. Now, right now, he done turned all your black brothers and sisters that you see on television, that you see entertaining you, your sports figures, your politicians, all of them are against you. They are against themselves and don't even know it because they think they're on the good side of the Caucasian. He might throw them out. He might give them a little few dollars here and there to keep it going. But he the house man. The house man gonna take his cut, and every now and then he reach into the pot and he might gamble with it to keep that money circulating, to keep the game going a little longer. If any of you know anything about uh, running an after-hour joint, and they playing poker or cards in the room or even dice, The house man gonna get his cut, and every now and then he gonna contribute to the pot, so he can take all your money, because the odds are always gonna be against you. The house man always wins, because the house man got the most money. Now I'm talking street jogging. This is how we talk in the streets, in the hood. Those that know or want to be gangsters know what I'm talking about. And the church people know too, because most of the church people, they was in the streets and they turned to the church to try to get righteous. But when you go to the church, try to get righteous, you found out that the gangsters got their hand in the preacher's pocket. If it ain't nothing but to pay the light bill, because the gangster runs all your electricity, he runs the water supply, the food supply. You know, he done took over all your essentials and all your necessities, because you don't make nothing or control nothing in your neighborhood. The only thing he leaves you with is to vote. And you think by you voting, you know, that you going to that you going to get out of debt, you're going to be protected. But look around you, my brothers and sisters. What's going on around you? Are you scared to look? So if you say you believe in Jesus, you always talking Jesus, you know, but what's happening to you? You're talking Jesus, but you're not walking Jesus. You're talking Elijah, but you're not walking like Elijah. You're talking Master Farad, Muhammad, but you don't really believe in Master Farad Muhammad. So let's move on. Islam, we're going to define the word Islam. Under the authority or control of Allah. For Allah is the divine dictator. See, democracy means dictator through others. So you elect an official, you elect an official to represent you. Once he gets in his seat as senator or whatever, mayor or whatever, then they become your dictator. They switch the game on, they switch the roles. But they are defying the dictatorship of Allah. The dictatorship and the policy of Allah is all you need. That's what Jesus told you when he said the first commandment is to love your God, love the Creator with all your heart and soul. But it's impossible for the Caucasian to do that. because he wasn't created, he was made to be like he is. So he's out of nature. He's out of nature. So I'm trying to bring you back to yourself. I'm trying to bring you back to reality. I'm trying to reason with you, bring you back to reasoning what you got to do if you want to survive this. Because eventually, he's going to make it mandatory for you to do his will instead of the will of Allah or the will of God. And when he makes it mandatory, and if you don't do it, he's going to take you somewhere and kill you or put you away, and we'll never hear from you again for the rest of your life. He's poisoned himself to do that right now. That's why there's all this chaos and confusion in the United States and all around the world, all around the planet right now. Don't be scared to look at it. Imagine yourself in the ring with an opponent that appears to be bigger and stronger than you. But you don't know what kind of strength you got because you never maximized your strength. So Allah put examples here like Muhammad Ali to show you how to be courageous. And Muhammad Ali, he joined with the Nation of Islam for protection from the gangsters. Because at that time, the Nation of Islam was defying the police, they were defying the gangsters. And they were literally afraid of the Nation of Islam. But now, it's a different story. So imagine yourself in the ring, but imagine yourself like Muhammad Ali. You can't be scared to throw a punch, just like George Foreman was bigger than Muhammad Ali, stronger, younger. So Muhammad Ali defied the odds and won that fight. And he made it appear that he was getting beat up. Once he realized that George Foreman, had more assets than he had. But he used his mind. He used his brain. And that's what won him that fight. And that's what we're not using. We're afraid because America seems to have more weapons, more strength, more this, more that. But actually, when Master Farad came, he told you your attributes, what you got, because you're a direct descendant from the Creator. But you don't believe it. You're afraid to believe it. You don't know your real strength, black man. It's all in the Bible. Samson, But Samson was dumb. He had a weakness, which was sex. And he loved the enemy's women. Just like all our black men, black women loving, wanting to marry white people out they nature, you know. You got the Samson effect. And at the end, Samson ended up killing himself. He killed Delilah and all her crew. And so Israel is threatening you with that right now. They want to take over Africa and all its resources. And they want to make the Africans submit. And so some of them Africans are going with Russia. You shouldn't trust no Caucasian. You can't hardly trust your own brother. You can't trust your own brother. You definitely can't trust the Russians. They gangsters too. All Caucasian had that gangster mentality and that gangster nature, that outlaw. They outside the laws of Allah. They can't help themselves. There are a few, that could hold on a little longer. Just like we had John Brown going up against his own white brother. But that's been so long ago, having no one attempt to do that. No Caucasian attempt to give his life for the black man since then. They say some Jews did it back in the civil rights days. But that's been a long time ago. That ain't been that long ago, but it's been long enough. Now they want you to help them fight against themselves. They want you to go over there and fight in Ukraine. Because you always do. You always fight in the war, the Civil War, the World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War. In this war here, you fight. And guess what they doing now? They drafting. They sending letters out that you got to register with the draft board, the selective service. I'm familiar with how they do it because when I was 18, they had the Vietnam War jumping off. They sent me a letter saying I had to register, go to the post office, register to the selective service. And then they sent me a letter classifying me as A1. But they announced that it was a war between them and Vietnam. They said we are at war. But they're not telling you you're at war now. And they got military, 3 black soldiers were killed not too long ago over there, where was it at, in Iraq or somewhere around there, I don't forgot now, but what was they doing over there and why did they get killed? Now they sending out letters for you to register with the military. And then the next thing they're going to do is tell you to come down and take a physical after you register. You're going to pass the physical, but they haven't declared war. They ain't never said we was at war because they're gangsters. They not tricking you no more. They telling you now what you gonna do and what you ain't gonna do. They had to trick you at first, but they telling you to get on the boat now. They're not tricking you. They say we ain't gonna give you nothing, and you gonna get on that boat, that slave ship, and you're gonna do what we want you to do. Plus you're gonna pay us for doing it. Now you got to be some kind of idiot to fall for this. Out your mind to let this. We under attack, black man, and we allowed under the laws of our law. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. We allowed to defend ourselves. We're not to be the aggressor, but we've been under attack for 400 years and prisoners of war for 400 years. So we're going to have to defend ourselves. But we got to use our mind. You know, we got to use our brains. We got to use righteous, divine order. If the organized crime syndicate, if they could organize, the righteous can organize. Because right now we disorganized. So if you want to live, you better get with those. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3. You better get with those that think like you. Now we gotta try to, instead of being scattered, we gotta focus on one place at a time when you organize. New York is jacked up. New York, Chicago, and Texas at the border, they're getting ready to start a civil war with the Biden administration. They say they favor Trump. Trump, he want to keep America great again. He want to keep on collecting taxes and collecting money from the different weak countries and continents around the planet. They got to pay protection dues. Because Biden, you know, he a gangster. Him and his son, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Now, right now, you tripping off of Fannie Willis. You tripping off of Tupac and entertainers. They can't help you. You got to help yourself, man. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. That's right. So you got to pick a city and a state, organize that city and that state if you have to go there yourself. If you know, and I'm suggesting to you Detroit, where Master Farad Muhammad first came. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You're going to have to work out the intricacies, the best way you can. Because Detroit, they riots were the most violent and terrorized the white man you know, out the city. He left the city for 20 years. Then we had a mayor that was down with the brothers. Down, they tried. That's why they tried to get rid of Mayor Young. Mayor Young was a mayor of Detroit for 20 years, and I witnessed how he had neighborhood city halls. He had each neighborhood governing themselves. He had block clubs. He started giving out grants and weatherization programs to the city. But you got those boule and bourgeois gatekeeping brothers that worked against him, like Dennis Archer. They worked against Mayor Young. And finally, they got him out. But them brothers stole so much that they got Detroit in debt. And we had to get a manager, a city manager. They stole from the school system. These are the boule brothers that you got in front of you right now, like Fannie Willis and all these other brothers. I don't feel sorry for them because she's black. I'm sorry for none of them black women and men who side with the enemy. And now they getting put in their place. The enemy they pretend to be your friend, but they using you as a proxy to go to your people. Your people are the one that put you in the position. But once you get in that position, you don't try to help the people, you help yourself. But you don't try to help your people. And the white man know your weaknesses. That's why he go to the churches. The white politicians go to the churches and pay off the churches. But at the end, he gonna dismantle the black church, even the white churches. He gonna dismantle you. He don't want you believing in no Jesus. He don't want you reading the Bible because you might learn how to decipher the Bible and use it against him. So eventually he gonna ban the Bible. He gonna ban the Torah. He gonna ban the Quran. Any books of enlightenment, he gonna ban. And any doctrine is going to be banned. You ain't gonna be able to teach no kind of doctrine. And this ain't gonna take long. Because this election 2024, He's going to make a serious move. That disease X that he's talking about is going to go to the school and to the school system. And the children going to bring it home to the parents. And the parents are going to go to the doctor to get a shot. And that shot is what's going to do you in. The jab, what they call it. So, you know, it might not happen like that. It might happen another way since I'm revealing it to you. Or they might delay what I'm saying to you. But they're gonna start making things mandatory. And if they get into a civil war, or if they get into a war with the migrants, have you fighting the migrants? If you get into a war with the migrants, they're gonna federalize the National Guard. And so they're gonna have you and the federal guard then they're gonna build FEMA camps. And then these FEMA camps you're gonna be subject to go there to be never heard of again. So they're messing with the water here, probably other places too, but Detroit or Michigan has the most fresh water on the whole planet. And they're poisoning it now. The truckers are not going to be able to deliver because the truckers are in a war. Man, y'all better organize. It's nothing funny. They got a white guy that's not going to pay taxes here in Michigan. But see, don't join with the white people. Don't join behind them. Join with your own kind. Because they just they just need you to help them fight. Then they ain't got to worry about fighting you. But if you organize, don't join with them or have them up in your mix, they're gonna let you have certain things. If you tell the white man if you don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Just give me what you owe me, you know. And in Detroit, it's 77. I don't know if that's the current figure, but it's 77% black. Detroit is ours. All you got to do, Detroit, is unite. Forget about voting. Just unite. You know, organize yourself. Because we got people, black people know somebody that's an electrician. We know somebody that know how to work with concrete, some steel. All we got to do is start doing for self. And ain't nothing they can do about it. And check these little young thugs that want to be gangsters. Check them. If they don't want to act right, get rid of them. Yeah, you heard me. Send them over to the Caucasian. Kick them out the hood. We got to do it vigilante style now. You got to have gated communities. And you got brothers that got their own trucking business. Instead of going over to the Caucasian, you better start trucking for black people. Remember Eddie Kendricks had that jam, keep on trucking? Keep on trucking, my brothers, for self. We got land near Ann Arbor called Idlewild. Acres of land that black people own. I don't know if they still own it. You better try to organize that. Yeah. I'm not scared to tell you this, so you shouldn't be scared to listen. You scared to listen? Well then, don't listen. You know. But I wouldn't want no weak brother around me. I'm gonna show you something in the next transmission. I don't want to be too long on this one. I'm just setting it up for part two. You know. But I'm gonna show you videos, about 4 of them. But on this transmission, I'm gonna take you back to just a little bit before the '67 riots on a street called Wildermere. Street called Wildermere and Finkel. I'm gonna take you back to 1957 when brothers wasn't scared. Now we was moving from the east side to the west side because our people could afford to live in white people's neighborhood because we was working out at a Chrysler, and the ones that knew how to hustle and manage money, they were making more than the average white guy. So my old man, he moved over there on Finkel, Finkel and Wildermere. There wasn't that many black people over there. But the ones that were over there, all of them used to live on the east side. Over there on Mac, over there in Black Bottom. We lived in Black Bottom at one time. The schools we went to was mostly white schools. It was a handful of blacks. So I went to a grade school at that time called Custer. It was mostly white. That's where white people didn't want us in their neighborhood. And their children, kids, they had gangs. They had motorcycle gangs, hot rod gangs. We only had a few gangs But these gangs were powerful. They were called the Pilgrim Villagers, named after a street. And it was a little community called the Village. And it centered around a street called Pilgrim. And that hood right there, that area was where the school was at, Custer School. I moved over there. I was 10 when I moved over there. I had to fight when I got there. I had to fight. I ain't gonna go into every little detail, but we were playing marbles. I don't know if y'all know what marbles is. And I was the new kid or the new boy on the block. And I was playing marbles with these little thugs. Now I came from the east side. I was fresh off the east side. They'd have been on the west side and got spoiled. But I was fresh off the east side. Fresh, you know, from Black Bottom, Hastings Street, all over there. That's where the temple of Islam was at. All over there, 56. So I had a different way about me. Plus, I was born into the nation of Islam. So they stole my marbles because I was winning them. And so, I put out my best marbles and all of them grabbed a pot where the marbles was at. So I seen one of the cats who took them, and I busted him in his nose. Now he was bigger than me. So the rest of them didn't jump because they thought he could take me. But he couldn't. But I was right in front of his house when I did that. On the inside of his house, he had two brothers, and a sister. All of them were bigger than me. So after I got through jacking him up, sent out the big brother. And he had me outweighed me, had me by a couple of inches. So I jacked him up. Took a little while, but I jacked him up. Then they sent out the big sister. I refused to fight her. I said I ain't fighting no female. And the mama was out there orchestrating the whole thing. So I came home, you could tell I've been in a fight. And my mom said, "What happened?" I told her what happened. See, my mama was a scrapper too, and my old man. Being from the east side, being from over there on Hastings, Kirby, all around there, Wilkins, Mac. We moved in all those locations over there on the east side. And she didn't allow me to come home crying. So I just came home, bruised up a little bit. So anyway, I didn't have no more problems out of it. The problems we had from then on was with the white people, the white boys. So we fought, when we went to post junior high, we fought them. They burnt the cross in front of a black family house because they just moved over there by school, post junior high. I'm the one that jacked them up by myself. I know a lot of y'all think I'm exaggerating. No, it's the truth. I really didn't jack him up. I grabbed him and threw him in the. There was one cat that was bragging about what he did in the lunchroom to some more white boys. And there wasn't nobody, no black people in there but me. But I knew the way he took to go to his classroom after he left the lunchroom. So I left a little bit before he did, and went around the corner. I knew he was gonna turn that corner, and it was a locker that didn't have no lock on it. So I opened the locker. Once he turned that corner, I threw him up in the locker and told him that, I was gonna jack him up after school. I didn't know that his father was a sergeant, a lieutenant, or something. He was a plainclothes cop. And he came up there while I was in class and summons me down to the counselor's office. But I got out of it. But I told my friends what he said. And from then on, we had little skirmishes at the school. Finally, we had a full-fledged race riot at the school. Then after that, we had other schools where it was all blacks, like Central, Northern, Northwestern. Now, all these schools is black people schools, you know. And so they all met and we started throwing white boys off the expressway. And the white boys that lived in our hood, they would come, they after they would speak to everybody, and you know, play like they was friends with us. But one day I seen one of them in his crew, one white boy in his crew, jack up a friend of mine. And they didn't see me, but I seen them. But it was about 4 or 5 of them. So I knew the guy stayed in the hood. The white boy stayed in the hood. So they beat up, his name was Proctor, Douglas Proctor. They beat him up. So I came home. Now, most of my friends didn't go to school. They always hung out on the corners, getting high, and stuff like that. So I had to go on Dexter to get home. I had to go across Dexter. And Dexter and Finkel on that corner where they all used to hang out at. And so I came home by myself. They was on the corner. So I went to the fellas and told them what happened to Proctor. And here come that white boy by himself. And he had his boys with him because they stayed on the other side of Illinois. So he come, down the street. And so he had to pass us. So I told him what happened. So they stopped him. They say, no, Coop. They used to call me Coopterville. They say, you kick his ass. And that's what happened. Now he outweighed me and was taller than me. He was about 6'1", 6 feet, something like that. I was about 5'9", 5'10". And I knew that if I didn't, my father taught me how to fight. He said, you try to punch through the person you fight. Put your weight behind, punch straight. Don't throw no round haymakers. And he showed me where to knock somebody out at. A couple of places you can hit in the solar plex, kidney, liver. He showed me all the spots, temple. You could push a dude's bone, nose bone up through his brain. By me being shorter than the cat, I just give him a ridge or a ridge hand straight up if I wanted to. And on the chin, everybody, don't have a tough chin, but which he didn't. Because I seen where I wanted to hit him at. And then, I cracked him, knocked him out. So that started another fight. That started another war because we had to go to Mumford High School. But now here's grown men up there. They were a motorcycle gang, blocking the entrance of Mumford. We had to fight them. We fought them for about a year or two. We fought the police and them at Mumford High School for a year or better. Off and on. Now, all these people, white people that we were fighting, were Jews and Catholics, Italians and Jews. Eventually, all the West Side got full of black people. And we pushed all the white people back across Telegraph and Redford, around Redford Township. Those of you that live in Detroit know what I'm talking about. But if we go over there, and after a while, we had to start going out in the suburbs to get a job. They used to shoot at us. So now all this is bringing on the riot. Then the police doing the same thing they doing now, they did back then. I seen one of my friends get shot in the back. I heard of him I wasn't there, but I heard of him get shot in the back and died. He was only 15 years old. Police told the papers that they thought he was a grown man. They didn't know he was a teenager. All this brought about the riots. To make a long story short. That's why Detroit is kind of different. Detroit is different from the rest of the places they had riots in because we were sniping. So they brought in the tanks and there was one cat over there on the Sale Davidson area, on top of a roof with a 22 sniping the National Guard. So they brought in a tank with a machine gun on top, damn near leveled the building. And that ended the sniping. But it didn't end the militancy, and the brothers started getting rifles and guns better than the police. Now, I'm not suggesting doing that again, because we don't make the ammo, we don't make the bullets, and they can cut off our water supply, our electricity, and our food supply. Well, once we had all of that under control, now we don't. So the thing now is to get that back in under our control. Or they got machines now that could make water out of thin air. They got solar panels now. If we just get off the grid, using solar panels, generators, lithium batteries, we don't have to worry about that. Then kick them off the water board and make sure that we have people that know about computers. We got geniuses that know how to work with the computers, but they work for the white man. We just got to get some that want to work for their people. It ain't too late. But when you're slow, you blow. And when you study long, you study wrong. So I'm going to shut this one down. We're going to come back. This is a special Savior's Day. And look, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all can send somebody over here to get me. But I ain't afraid. No, I ain't afraid. Because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, man. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how Fred Scott, the Supreme Court, said we're not American citizens and we can't sue the government. We never was American citizens. You never did pay us for reparations. But if they get me, I want y'all to rally around me. But for right now, this is Black Light. Stay tuned for part 2.
Master up the day of judgment. I got the power.
Power, power.